We were warned that taking aboard a human crew member would be challenging due to their vastly different biology. This became glaringly apparent when the new engineer, with their required credentials to work in high-heat environments, casually drank the galaxy's strongest known poison, claiming they needed a drink of water. The human, whose gender was indistinguishable through their environment suit, seemed polite, quiet, and focused. They requested a small, contained biosphere in one of the hangars, supposedly to mimic their home environment. We speculated that perhaps they breathed an unusual gas like argon or pure helium. Having worked with various life forms before, some dripping corrosive acid, others requiring constant mating or exploding, I found this human to be the least peculiar. That is, until the day when some of the other crew members invited the human to a game of paradox for sty and draw. The human accepted cautiously, and the game proceeded smoothly until they pulled out a pressurized container labeled dihydrogen monoxide, a substance known to us as one of the most toxic and poisonous substances in the universe. The sight of the container struck fear into our hearts, but the humans seemed oblivious. They replaced a similar container on their suit and, through their suit's tiny speaker, said, "Ah, lovely. Really needed a drink of water." We were baffled and horrified. The human wasn't charging a weapon. They were drinking water. I had to ask if they often drank this substance. The human shrugged. "Yeah, it slakes my thirst. Prefer some alcohol personally, but water is better to keep the head clear during a game." Alcohol, another highly toxic substance. The crew grew even more cautious around the human. As captain, I decided to investigate further. To my shock and horror, the human's diet included not only large amounts of water and alcohol, but also capsicum-infused dust on their food, a Class 3 toxin. Their casual consumption of these deadly substances was both fascinating and terrifying. This human, with their strange biology, had become a source of both wonder and dread among the crew. Little did we know, the true test of our new crew members' impact would come in an unexpected form. One day, as we were navigating a particularly treacherous asteroid field, an ominous sound reverberated through the ship. A single fart, seemingly harmless, but the ship's sensors went haywire. The gas, harmless to the human, reacted violently with our ship's systems. Chaos ensued as alarms blared, and systems malfunctioned, leaving us scrambling to regain control. The incident forced us to reevaluate everything we thought we knew about human biology and its potential hazards. Our journey had taken a bizarre turn, and we were left to wonder what other surprises this human might bring. The human's presence on our ship had turned into an unprecedented experiment, challenging our understanding of biology, chemistry, and interspecies interactions. We had to adapt, learn, and coexist with this extraordinary being, navigating the perils of the galaxy together. I became increasingly anxious after researching human biology. The more I learned, the more alarmed I felt. Humans naturally produce combat drugs, a phenomenon that was only theoretically possible until now. They are life forms with water as their primary solvent, immune to most chemical and biological weapons, and they breathe oxygen, a highly flammable and dangerous gas. Despite their toxic nature to all known forms of life, one of these humans was merely fixing power couplings or testing plasma injectors on our ship. I warned the rest of the crew while the human was sleeping, advising them to be polite and under no circumstances to disturb the human. Most of the crew agreed, but unfortunately, some didn't listen. When they attempted to break into the human's quarters, which served as a biosphere, they encountered the intense heat and toxic water from the human's home planet. The result was horrific. Scalded, partially melted bodies that I had to send home in sealed coffins. The remainder of the journey was eerily silent. The human continued working without a word, and the crew kept their distance, not wanting to suffer the same fate as their fallen comrades. Upon arrival at the port, the human was paid just like the rest of us and then left quietly, seeking passage on a cruiser full of silicate life forms. I discreetly warned their captain about the human's unusual biology, vastly different from our own. I could have told them the full truth, but who would have believed me? A species that drinks and is composed of the deadliest poison known in the universe? It seemed unbelievable unless one looked it up themselves. Indeed, truth is stranger than fiction, and the reality is that there exists a race of extremely warm, poisonous beings who consume what we consider chemical weapons.